everybody, it's Bethany here again. Okay, so I thought that I would try to do a quick 2-week update for baby girl. She will actually be 3 weeks on Thursday, so I know I'm behind. It has been crazy. I mean, I'm still learning how to be a mom and figuring things out, but we're learning as we go, right? So just please be patient with me. So yeah, she was born on March the 13th, the first, which was a Thursday, and we were discharged home on Saturday, and she nursed like a pro in the hospital, and the lactation consultant came and helped us, and everything was great. Then as soon as we got home, she just decided that she was not going to nurse anymore. So the first 2 nights at the house were nothing but her screaming and crying all the time. She never slept. She screamed and cried the entire 24/7, all day, all night. My husband and I had to take turns. Like, I would hold her and rock her and sing to her and try to feed her and try to feed her and try to feed her. And finally, whenever I was, oh, your face. Finally, by the time that I was like just done with it, I went in and was like, can you please take her and rock her and see if you can do anything, and then that way I could get some sleep. So it turns out we were just basically starving our kid. She refused to eat and I did not know what to do. Are you going to get mad? What's the matter? So we went to the pediatrician on Monday when she was less than, so she was, how old? She was 4 days old. We went to the pediatrician for the first time, and they checked, and she had jaundice really bad. Her level was 15, and they said anything above 15, they did like the Billy blanket and stuff like that. So she had jaundice pretty bad, and she was constipated because, she wasn't eating, so she wasn't pooping either, and the reason why was because she was constipated. So that night, we had to, well, the pediatrician said, she gave us formula. It's like the Nutramagen or something, which is supposed to be the best thing for babies with jaundice. So she told me to continue breastfeeding and give her a little like medicine dropper of I think 15 mLs of the formula, just to help with her weight. Oh, because that's another thing. Her weight went down. When she was born, she was 6'6". When we were discharged from the hospital, she was 5'15". And then on Monday, at the first pediatrician visit, she was down to 5 pounds 7 ounces. So she was losing weight too. So we needed to be on the formula to help with her weight and to help with her jaundice. And that night we actually had to give her an enema too, because she was so constipated. But my word, was this girl constipated. She pooped and pooped and pooped and pooped. Matthew and I were just so sad that like we let this happen to our girl. It was just breaking my heart as to how much like poop came out of her, because that's why she was feeling so bad. Anybody would scream and cry if they were that backed up. So at least we got it fixed. And then that night she still was refusing to breastfeed, so I had to start pumping. I literally had a mental breakdown because I had not slept in days, and she was screaming and crying, and finally I just broke down and I was bawling my eyes out because my milk had come in too. And so I'm like dripping with milk, and she still refused, and I'm like, I have all this milk for you, and why won't you take it? Please take it. So I had to start pumping, and we had to give her a bottle, and it broke my heart. It was like I'm failing as a mother, because like the 3 things that I was so dead set against were, I'm never going to give her formula. I really want her to be exclusively breastfed, and that went out the window. I had to give her formula. Another thing was, we really thought that I would never give a pacifier, because I didn't want to have the nipple confusion or whatever, and that went out the window because I thought the reason why she was screaming and crying was because she needed a boob and she couldn't get one, and she had no other way to pacify herself. So I gave her a pacifier, but luckily she doesn't really like them. She doesn't, she'll only use them for like 2 or 3 minutes if she's like really, really starving and I just can't, my hands are full or they're dirty or something, I need to wash my hands. and I can't, you know, just whip out my boob and stick her on it really quickly, Matthew will just go and put a pacifier in her mouth to hold her over for a couple minutes. And that's all she really takes it. Like, she doesn't like the bink. So, that's good. And then the third thing that I said I'd never do was give a bottle. Because I was so set on breastfeeding. I mean, like, that was just, always been my dream. I want to breastfeed my baby. And in one day, all three of those things got broken, and my spirits were broken along with it. I was just crushed. So anyway, that was just a long story, but the first few days of her life and the first few days home with her were just absolutely hell, honestly, for both of us. I mean, she was obviously feeling bad. So the next day we went back to the pediatrician, which was Tuesday, and they checked her again, and her jaundice level was up to 18, and I thought that they were going to give us the belly blanket because it had gone up instead of down. But they said that they thought that it was just peaking at this point, like it had reached its peak level, so they're going to they gave it one more day, come back the next day, and we'll see what happens. And on Tuesday, her weight was up to 5 pounds, 11 ounces, so she gained 4 ounces in overnight because of my breast. Like, I was pumping, I was giving her the breast milk, and then also the formula supplemented. And then, so on Wednesday we went back again, and her jaundice was down to 11. So at that point they were like, okay, well, she's on the mend, you know, you're doing everything right with the breast milk in a bottle and the formula, just keep that going, and if anything changes, if you notice that her skin color's, you know, turning yellowy orangey again, or her eye color is, just come back. So we did that for a few days. We did the pumping and the breast milk supplemented for a few days, and then I was able to wean off of the formula. So she's now exclusively at that point she was on exclusively breast milk, but she was bottle fed because every once in a while she would latch on and drink, but maybe that was only like maybe once a day. So finally, I decided that I contacted the lactation consultant. I emailed her and said, here's our problems. She had jaundice. I had to give her a bottle. I had to give her a pacifier. Are we screwed? Like, will she ever breastfeed again? And the lactation consultant, I emailed her at like 6 p.m. She emailed me back the very next morning at like 8 in the morning, first thing, and was like, can you know, how about you come in and see me today? I have an opening at whatever o'clock. Come in and we'll try to figure it out. So she saw me like that same day. I went in. It was actually the same day as her 2-week checkup, and I went to her checkup, and everything was fine. She's back up to her birth weight. She's exactly 6 pounds 6 ounces now, well, as of Thursday, and she had grown 1/2 inch, so she's up to 19.5 inches in 2 weeks. So everything's going well with her. And then after her pediatrician appointment, we went down and saw the lactation consultant, and she came in. I sat down. I whipped out my boob, and literally she was just like, okay, this is what you do, and the baby latched and drank for 20 minutes. Apparently I was just having her latch wrong, and so anytime I tried to put her to the boob, she would suck like twice and then not get anything, and because I wasn't doing it right, it was my fault, and she would get frustrated and pop off and say, no, give me the bottle. So I cannot believe it was such an easy fix. I wish that I had emailed her, you know, a week beforehand. I wish I did not let it go on so long. My husband had been nagging me for like days. Email the girl, email the girl, email the girl. That's her job. She will help you. And me, I'm very stubborn and hard-headed, and thought that no, my mommy instincts will kick in. I'll figure it out. And thank God that I finally just, you know, swallowed my pride and emailed her, because it literally was, I was just not holding my nipple right or whatever. And she latched on, and ever since then she has nursed all day, every day. She is a nursing pro now, so I'm very happy that I at least get to breastfeed again. We still give her a bottle, like, because sometimes, like, she'll be fast asleep and I'll try to wake her because, like, I have a really big letdown and, like, I'm leaking everywhere, and if I can't wake her up, I'll have to pump, and usually the second I'm done pumping, she wakes up and wants some milk. So sometimes we'll give her a bottle like once a day, and then my husband likes to do it, so he'll feed her like once a day a bottle. We were using, another thing that the lactation consultant had me change was I was just using the Medela bottles that came with my breast pump. But she said that the best kind for breastfeeding, to help like switch back and forth between the breast and a bottle, if that's what we're going to do, is the Dr. Brown's. So we're using the Dr. Brown's bottle with a slow flow nipple. But like I said, that's only maybe once a day. Maybe. Sometimes I've gone all day with just nursing her, so. She wakes up every hour and a half to 2 hours max. She wakes up around the clock to eat. She refuses to sleep any longer than 2 hours, so. But I mean, hey, it's okay. She's a grown girl. She needs her food, right? Let's see what else. She's still in newborn clothes, obviously. She's only 6.5 pounds. She's still wearing newborn clothes. And, actually we don't have enough because I have a million onesies, but I don't have any, like, pants. So, I've just been, like, putting her in a onesie and then wrapping her up in this blanket and keep, like, just carrying her around the house like that. She only has a couple pairs of pants that fit her right now, so. And then we're doing disposable diapers, and our favorites are the Pampers Swaddlers. Those are the absolute best. For my baby shower, I got several different kinds of diapers, and every other kind has leaked. Has either, like, she's gotten pee on herself or poop on herself. So we haven't had any, like, poo explosions or anything like that, but, you know, especially the Huggies. Like, the legs, I guess her legs aren't chunky or thick enough for the leg holes, because like there's a gap, like a significant gap, oh I'm sorry, in the leg holes where poop or pee or whatever will just seep out, and it's ridiculous. So our favorites are the Pampers Swaddlers, along with like most other moms. I know a lot of moms prefer that brand. She did get a little bit of a diaper rash. Putting on like Balmex and like diaper rash cream on it really consistently, and it's gotten a lot better. And then we also, Matthew read that it was easy to, or that it's good to let it like air out, you know, because I mean, think about it, if it's wet and it's closed up and no air is getting to it, that's whenever rashes occur. So he read that it's best to air it out. So the other day, like I think it was 2 nights ago, we tried to do tummy time with her, since, you know, her butt needed to be up in the air too. So we had her lay there naked doing tummy time, and she hated it. She screamed and cried and kicked her legs and like threw her head around the entire time. She hated it. I think it was because she was a little bit cold, so we probably should turn up the thermostat the next time we do that. But anyway, she's doing great. She's growing like a weed. Every time I look at her, I think that she's gotten bigger. It makes me so sad. But, and then my recovery has been wonderful also. I'm almost I'm 2.5 weeks postpartum my C-section, and it's been the easiest recovery of any surgery I've ever had. And this has been like the most invasive surgery that I've ever had, so I don't understand it, but it has been wonderful. And honestly, if we ever decide to have a baby, or if God blesses us with another baby, I probably would just schedule a C-section again, because this one has been so absolutely just perfect recovery-wise that, I mean, the absolute worst part was the freaking catheter. I mean, that is the absolute worst part of my whole surgery, was getting a fully catheter. So anyway, yeah. My incision was only about 4 to 5 inches. I mean, it's really, really small and really, really low. So, I took my steri strips off the other day, and yeah, it looks really great. I go to see my doctor on Wednesday, when I'll be almost 3 weeks postpartum, and yeah, I mean, I'm sure everything will be fine. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I know I wish I could have done a 1 week update and then another a 2 week update, but it's just, you know, it's just been crazy. So I hope y'all don't mind this 1 and 2 week update combined. I'm actually filming a day in the life, but I gotta go because my camera battery is flashing. So, like I said, I'm filming a day in the life today, so be on the lookout for that video.